Hi and welcome to Blender for Absolute Beginners Part 5. Today we will render a picture of the house that we have created, and if you have made it this far, I congratulate you. We will start by going to the rendered preview mode. We have created a sun in the scene. If you haven't, you can do that now by Shift A, go down to light and select a sun and set up the sun the way you want to. This position is good for me, so now I will go to the properties or the settings of this sun. Object data properties. So I click on this one. We have the sun selected. We have a light yellow color in the sun. The strength is set to 3. But now we will go down to shadows here. So we have shadows enabled, and we will also enable contact shadows for better precision in the shadows. So I will zoom in here so you can see the difference. So I disable it and enable it. That's all the settings that we need for the sun right now. Now we will have to set up the camera that we will use to render a picture of this scene. So I will click here, up here to the right on the camera icon, and this box is our camera, the camera viewer. I will zoom in a little bit, and in my scene collection up here in the layers I will select the camera so it is highlighted. I will then go down to object properties of the camera, and here we can use these location and rotation to move our camera. So X location, I will press and hold with my mouse and drag it. I will go down to rotate Z, go back a bit more, rotate, no, not Y, rotate X. And in this way we can set up the camera the way we want to. I think that's good for me, maybe a little bit up. Now we have the location for our camera. We can also go in here to the data properties for the camera. You can set up which type of camera, focal length and everything. You can play around with focal length a bit here, but for now I will use 50. We will also have to go through our render settings. We can find that render properties over here. Here is the render engine. For this, Eevee is good. It's a real-time render engine. It's instant and it's very fast. So you can leave the sampling default settings as is. You can enable ambient occlusion. For this scene, bloom isn't doing much for us, but you can enable that as well. The other thing that we will enable is and turn on is screen space reflections. I will zoom in a bit so we can see a little bit of difference here, what happens in the scene when we turn it on. You can also do more detailed settings with refractions and the settings for the precision of the tracing. But the default settings works perfectly fine in the beginning. Then we have the shadows. By default it's a lower value than this, but I have 1024 cascade side and cube size. Use soft shadows and high bit rate or high bit depth, but it's not necessary for this scene. A lot of other settings here, but now we will do is go into the color management here, and I usually use the standard view transform. So I can select filmic here and we get a totally different look. Usually my default is medium contrast. So we have done with the render properties. We have set up our lighting in our scene, and then it's just a matter of rendering this image. But before that we have to see where are we rendering to, where is our output. So output properties, this is the resolution. Right now it's a 1920 by 1080 resolution. You can change the resolution here for different presets. If you animate, here is where you set the frames per second. This is also for animation, how long of an animation you have. And here is something that we have to do. We have to set the output location for our picture. So I will press and I will select my desktop. I will call it house. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now it is the matter of rendering. So we go up here to the render tab, press render, and I will render an image. And it's done. This is our rendered house that we made. And to render that frame took 0.43 seconds. That's it for this time with rendering for the house. Next time we can do some more for our scene here, perhaps add some trees or a fence. If you have any ideas for what you would like to be added to the house, please let me know in the comments section. But thank you for now and thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.